There's some fancy terminology related to multimedia that I learned in this section that explains some of the stuff we hate, but have probably all experienced at some time or another. There's also some helpful suggestions on how to make your instructional design using different mediums more effective. For example, redundancy effect is when there is a verbatim narration of written text on a visually presented slide. Don't do this. It's boring. When using images, try to constrain your use of images directly related to the topic, otherwise known as instructive illustrations. Seductive illustrations are those that are interesting but unrelated to the material in any meaningful way. Decorative illustrations are those that are unrelated to the material and aren't inherently interesting. Learners learn better with pictures and audio instead of pictures plus text, unless there are technical words or symbols, which is otherwise known as the modality principle. Put items close together so the learner can focus on one area, instead of going cross-eyed to see your content. This is called spatial contiguity principle, which you can remember by thinking about the space in between the content. Present the spoken word at the same time as the pictures, otherwise known as temporal contiguity principle, so the pictures and words match the mental images you want to create. Think about watching a show that audio doesn't match the mouth motions. It's very frustrating. Highlight the items that are important so learners can easily see the important stuff. This is otherwise known as the signaling principle, and I think it's easy to remember because it's signaling that something is important. If there's something that your learners may not know, tell them about it first. This is called the pre-training principle. Use headings. Not only does it help break content into chunks, otherwise known as the segmenting principle, but it also helps visually impaired students using screen readers. Avoid using color to convey meaning in text or graphics, as not everyone can see the full spectrum of color. Allow self-pacing as much as possible. Learners read and absorb materials at different paces, and that's okay. Last but not least, hide stuff that isn't necessary and remove visual clutter. Don't do a volcano dress to your learners.